I brought my little hacked FM transmitter, and I realized I was starting to crackle. Turns out that's what happens when it's low on power. And I just picked up this old 1997 solar panel, so I wired it up right here on the highway so it can charge it, and the crackling went away. It's charging it. I moved the ThinkPads over because we have some water now with a little bit of dish soap in it and then a wash rag. I'm a little bit surprised, or actually delighted, that the inside looks so good. The outside is definitely weathered. These wires are thick enough for now, but I'm going to see about getting like if I find an old extension cord, I can cut it up and have some thicker wires, just to increase efficiency. Also, these screws are about done for. There were stainless steel screws, bolts in here, and they had corroded in. I popped them out. So this is a good example of a solar panel that's been out for many years. Oh my God, that's hot. So some of this dirt looks like I can get it. Yeah, so the silicone sealant isn't doing too bad. This white stuff seems like it's coming off a tiny bit. Definitely built for longevity since they have aluminium and plastic and such. And this is cleaning up pretty well. I'm going to do this section too. Oh, and Dice, I discovered something. If you open this up, they have contactors, so you can make this 6 volts or 12 volts. You can rewire it, so that's kind of cool. It is cool. Sorry. Anyway. It's turned out nicely. Mm-hmm. We're definitely getting in that era where we have a lot of old things built from materials that are quite advanced, like old 1960s power tools that are made from aluminium. And it's proving that it's actually quite easy to clean them up and restore them. Let's see, the first, well, what was it? The first stainless steel items were made for World War I. And so that means that we're starting to see things that are 100 years old that are made from stainless steel. And they're just as good as the day they were made, just a little bit of wear around the edges. And I could definitely see something like that being similar to this, where it's been in use for, well, probably, this is probably only rated for 25 years, and it was in use for 25 years, and it still looks pretty good. I won't focus too much on the back, but that looks pretty nice. That actually looks really nice. Sorry. Got some grime here.
Oh, yeah.
This may have been on a roof, because this seems like it's a little bit of tar. But it's hard to say. And now for the most important part. I'm going to use the back of the sponge because I don't want to scuff it up. Yeah, there's a layer of normal solar panel gunk on there. So there's a little bit of paint on it. I just see some splatter in that corner. Yeah, there might be paint. Ah, there's white paint on this corner. So it was painted over a little bit. So it looks like there is some like oxidation going on there. There's something happening there. I think it's related to the solder though. You know, I only just now realized these are cut down the middle. I only just now realized that. It's only a chip here. I was thinking it was the whole thing. Definitely getting some gunk off and some paint too. That paint's gonna mess with our tests. Yep, a lot of paint here. Sorry, didn't mean to bump you. Okay, I think I'll do one more pass. Maybe we get a paper towel and do some Windex or something. that's pretty good. There's still a little bit of paint. See the little speckles down there? Oh, looks like it kind of got brushed up here. They're ever so slight, but I should, you know, I'm gonna risk it. Let's see how the Brillo pad works in this corner. Yeah, it gets it away. Let's see, make sure it's not doing any permanent damage. No, not, okay, so. I don't know if that's coming up on video, but these tiny little specks, I just notice them. Oh, this glass is quite tough. Oh, that's really getting rid of them. There's paint along here. You can see they put like tape there. So it must have gotten underneath there somehow. Okay. Do I spy some sunlight powering a fan? It was so overcast before that I left this fan here and it wasn't able to power it, but now it is. I think, let's see about setting it up there, outside, just flat, and that should give it a little more power. Now that we're down to filming with my camera, it's hard to hold, and so I realized we have these J-clamps. So here you go. A little better, easier to hold, I hope. Yeah, phones are just, phones are a pain, and plus, they're so easy to get all the vibrations in there. If you have a handle, it knocks out all the vibrations. Okay, so, I'm gonna disconnect this. Ooh, it's a hot one already. Now I'm gonna hold the camera up a little bit, because I'm gonna risk it. It's a shame it has to be all that way over, but my cable's a little bit short. Let me see what I can do. I'll just close this real quick. So I found some thicker, longer wire from the ceiling fan, because we had a ceiling fan that just had a really long wire on it. You know what? Let me see. Can I don't like doing this. Oh, it's too wide because of the box. Right. Okay. Well, I guess I'm going to be removing these after all. Oh, you know what? Cool trick I've learned. Okay. Like that. That's a cool trick. Yeah. I've done it on pretty long wires too, and it really works. I will say, the stuff they use, it cleans up really well. So. And maybe that will work for now. I won't have it out there long, maybe a few days, or until it rains. Come on. My solar project stalled a little bit. I just went to just tinkering with them because my solar charge controller, the MPPT one, it only likes 12-volt batteries. It can go down, or actually it can go up to 15 volts, but not quite the 16 or 17 volts I would use with these packs. And the entire reason for going to 16 volts is that it would unlock being able to use direct charging to my laptops, and then also I got a bunch of computer fans that run really well at 16 volts, so we can use those to circulate air. They run at 2 watts, very low power, and I had to take the solar panel out because it was raining really bad and the tape got unstuck, and so it was basically just sitting there. I did not want wind to blow it. So in a future Solar Sunday, I will make a proper mount for it. So the idea is that panel does its best at somewhere around 18 volts. So instead of having an MPPT charge controller pretend that a 12 volt battery is an 18 volt battery, why don't I just use a battery that'll be sitting about 17 volts? And we can probably do away with the like 9% efficiency loss in this. I love this thing. I'm so glad I got it. But I should probably take this back to Illinois and put this in my workshop to run a 24 volt system for the lights and such. And I think for this I'm going to go with a direct drive. So I have this power directly coming off. It's early morning right now. Later in the evening that goes to 0.8 of an amp. The panel, it should be angled a bit more, probably about that much more. So it makes sense it's not getting right. I think I could get an amp out of it. And so right now it's at 15 volts. This has been doing so well. Over just 2 days, it's taken this pack from 13 volts to 15 volts. And it's charging really well. You know, I kind of want these videos to be self-funding. So, the previous Solar Sunday episode, it made $8. So I found a BMS circuit for 4 series lithium battery, and I bought it. So that video bought us a BMS circuit. But I'm hoping that I'll be able to make a charge controller with this circuit. It will not be PWM, it will not be MPPT, it'll just be whenever the battery pack, well this is for a 2 series one, for this 6 volt panel. Because again, the 12 volt panel works great for 16 volts, and the 6 volt panel works great for 8 volts. So I'll take one of those Nissan Leaf packs and have it for the tiny panel, and 2 of those Nissan Leaf packs will be for this solar. I put it the wrong way, sorry. And so with this schematic, you have 2 relays that, oh, and also you have a voltage divider, so the Arduino can naturally read the voltage. And then you also have 2 relays which I have plenty of, 5-volt relays, which you can use to connect each individual cell to a resistive load to burn off some power if the voltage is noticed to be too high. And then lastly, you have one relay, which the thing's going to be checking every, oh, you also have a shunt as well, so you can, it'll actually be able to log amp hours, watt hours. And I'm hoping to add an e-ink display so it doesn't waste power powering the display. It just refreshes it every like 10 minutes. And it checks every second. So it checks everything, goes to, makes any decisions with the relays, and then goes to sleep. And in order to turn off the solar so it doesn't overcharge, see, I would hope to have, I hope you're getting the idea. This is going to be a super, super efficient micro solar system. But my idea is, instead of burning it off into a resistive load, I would hope that whenever the battery reaches full capacity or whenever it needs balancing, I can take that power and dump it, for instance, into some rechargeable AA batteries, or I'll have all these other things that it's like once one cup gets full, it starts filling up the next cup, and then it starts filling up the next cup. But I have that one relay there just in case the system is filled up and it doesn't want any more power. And I could probably do away with it just turning on both resistive loads to soak the 7 watts of power from that solar panel. But I can have that wired up in a way where if you turn on that relay, it isolates the solar panel and it connects the solar panel to the coil of the relay so that the solar panel keeps itself disconnected. And then in the evening, unless you're able to pull it down with the Arduino, in the evening when the power gets low, the relay flips back and then is ready for the next day. That could be pretty cool. But I want something that is smaller than this, because this uses about 2 or 3 watts of power all the time. And when you're doing with micro solar like that, that's just too much. That motor, that charge controller is meant for running like 2 kilowatts of solar panels. So 2,000. So losing 2 watts is nothing. But for this, I want it to be as precisely efficient as possible. Like, I might even get into different processes of, I could tell it like more efficient ways to recharge batteries. Like, gosh, I don't know, maybe I fill a capacitor first and then I charge it, or maybe I have different curves or whatever and we do pulse width modulation on that. So that's going to be the coming videos. And I think what we need to do is we need to wait for that circuit to come in the mail. I need to get these charged and balanced because I played with one pack and I didn't play with the other. So one of them is like half a volt higher than the other one, although now it's a little bit less. And I'm going to get those balanced just by doing this. I'm just going to take this pin and connect it to here. Or actually this pin to connect it to here. So I'll just charge this one for a bit and not both in tandem, because these two are really, really close, and any little discrepancy there, that little BMS circuit that I got will be more than enough to balance these. But I'm just going to make this top pack the same as the bottom pack, and that should be good. Oh, interesting. So the packs are, I guess they just have a discrepancy at their lower power. Oh, come on. That's so weird that these bolts are isolated these days. Yeah, same exact voltage. 3.75. 3.75. Oh, okay. That makes me feel pretty good. 3.75. Wow, close enough. Huh. They were at like 2.9 volts and 3.2 volts though, and that low, they can't provide any power. So probably there was a difference of like a few milliamp hours, and that was just enough to make that big of a difference that low. But once I brought them up, they're all sitting at the same thing. That makes sense. So that's my little solar setup so far. I hope you guys enjoyed this Solar Sunday and keep collecting those photons. I was looking at the wrong side of my phone. Whoops. Oh well.